Welcome to Startup Club. Today we are talking about AI hacks, AI startup hacks, growth hacks. Probably the biggest growth hack out there is AI. This is something that has totally changed the landscape for all startups. This is truly a historic moment in time when a technology advances to a point so quickly and so swiftly where it can have a huge impact on almost everyone and every startup. And I'm telling you, I think AI is going to be one of those game changers for every startup out there. And I'm not talking about just doing an AI startup, because we are definitely involved in those here at the incubator. But I'm talking about your existing startup, or if you have an idea for a startup, or you're thinking of doing a startup, how can you use AI to accelerate your growth, to hack your growth? That's what we're talking about today. But also we're writing an article for a national publication. We don't know who it is yet. It could be Wall Street Journal, it could be Forbes. It's one of the big ones. And this is going to, there are a lot of the information that we get from this show today is going to go into that article. And you will see that article come out within the next 60 days, 60 to 90 days. Depends on, these publications tend to move very slow. Sometimes they'll do it in 2 weeks and sometimes they'll take 60 days. Who knows where it's going to come out at. But today's show is all about AI growth hacks for your startup. And I know a lot of you in the audience have got a lot of experience with this. You've already tried it out. You've played with it. I know we've got a few ideas. I know Michelle does. Maybe you might have a couple of ideas as well. And I just think it's going to be a very interesting topic where we want everyone to share their ideas. If you're in the audience, raise your hand, come on stage. It's Friday afternoon. It is almost the last day of summer. We're getting pretty close, right? So it's pretty relaxed. We're having fun. And we just want to share these ideas and come out with what we think could be a great article, a great blog for Mimi, maybe even a white paper. We can see what ChatGPT can do to the transcripts, right? But fact is, we are producing a lot of good, great material over at Startup Club. And you're welcome to sign up to the email list there. I don't know if you know this, but we actually have a number of very big speakers and authors who've come on this show, and we are booking authors now. We have an AI expert who's coming on. We don't know if it's going to be a week from now, 2 weeks from now, but one of the top people in the industry. She's an author who's written multiple books, and she's all over this topic. But you're not going to know about it unless you go to startup.club and sign up to the email list. Lastly, I'll say is we're very excited about, we are T-minus 32 days, Michelle, Mimi, from the book launch, Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat. And I will admit this book had no impact from ChatGPT. There was no ChatGPT used in the making of this book. It is a funny story because we had to submit it last November. But the book does go deep into AI. And we talk a lot about how catching the next wave or paradigm shifts can impact your startup. And so it's something that I've seen over and over and over again, whether it's dial-up from the early 90s, whether it's broadband from the 2000s, whether it's the advent of social media in the 2010s, rise of the micro brands in 2010s, the e-commerce companies. We see it over and over and over again, and we're going to see it again. This time, though, it's going to be the 2020s, all about AI. And we're going to see companies rise up and kill it. We're going to see big companies be challenged. We already saw Google in some ways was challenged by ChatGPT. And we're going to see startups who embrace this technology succeed. I've heard some recent reports that AI can help your startup or your business by improving efficiency by 30%. We are in an unprecedented time. This is a great time to be a startup. I know it's tough with the interest rates. I know it's tough with what's going on out there in the world, but this is a great time. If you're in the audience, raise your hand.
I
It's
think
open
they're
mic
lining
hour,
up.
right,
I
Michelle?
think they are lining up, Colin, and we need to get to
I
it.
like it. So,
So,
Michelle, you're gonna mod us today,
yeah,
right? You'll be
yeah.
our
Let's
moderator.
do what I like to call a listicle. So we're gonna identify, very quickly here and get folks involved in what are these AI apps or otherwise to help us grow our businesses. All right, so I'm going to start off first. All right, I think this has gotten a lot of, PR, but I'm going to say AI for customer service. I don't know if everyone's noticed, but I feel like almost overnight, this is literally on fire. And I think it's a brilliant idea. Um, any website that is getting traffic that deals with customers, I don't know why you wouldn't want to implement this seriously. So
You know what's
AI,
cool about that, Michelle? You know what's cool about that is yeah. So we have at paw.com, and Michelle's helping us to run paw.com as well. They're in our incubator, and we have about, I don't know, 6 or 7 people in Philippines who do the customer support. And when they do email responses, they use ChatGPT. But what's very cool about this is you can actually tell it, the ChatGPT, to make the response more positive. So you can institutionalize positive language within your customer support, not just getting, taking a foreign jurisdiction and offshore labor and making them sound like they're Harvard educated, support staff, but also institutionalizing positivity. I think that's fascinating, Michelle.
yeah, there's so much out there being published about prompt engineering. If you're at all interested or going to use AI, you really need to learn how to master first. Almost, I'm going to say prompt engineering, like what is the role, what is the tone, what is the output. There's like four, whatever, 3 to 5 requests, right, prompts that you can do that immensely improve the response. From Doesn't have to be chat gpt, by the way, Colin. There are other things out there using several models, but let's just use chat gpt for example. But there are a lot of tools out there, and if you take a little discipline and extra time into what you really want, feed a little additional information, your results will really be positively impacted. But Colin, I see we have a lot of our amazing members on the stage already queued up. And I know you guys, ladies, men, members are, probably already using some of these tools. And I really want to hear your experience with them. So let's start with Vincent. Vincent, tell us about hacks for your business or our businesses using AI.
Hmm. I tend not to use the word hacks, but in this case, no worries. Here's some facilitation for some businesses. Uh, when it comes to websites that have CRMs and invoicing and whatnot built in, let me know later today. I'm going to be introducing something. But in the meantime, copy AI. This is a great one.
Agreed. That's a great one. Go ahead.
Like it's one of the best. It has been like it really, and it's just grown in capability. And the thing is with AI, don't ask it what to do. Tell it what to do. It doesn't mean be a dick. Sorry for my language. Um, but I often like give it encouraging notes like "You've got this, bro," or
Interesting. All
yeah.
right, so
I get.
you're like saying just be very direct, and this is not a polite game.
Well, when is business a polite game? this is a tool. This is not like some people will argue it's an entity, but at the end of the day, it is a tool for I'm an AI practitioner engineer. I'm on fellowship with a company called Supertype AI that practices it rather well. Uh, I'll put it like this. I think artificial intelligence is the biggest oxymoron there could be. Artificial intelligence. I think it should have been augmented intelligence, but we can't go back to 1964 yet and change that, or would we want to? So rather than thinking of this as a tool to fix your business, think of how you can fix your business with this tool. And the tool is only as capable as the one wielding it. So very much emphasize and agree with what you were just saying on how you speak to ChatGPT, or how you prompt, or how you converse, or discover, research, create. It's all up to you.
Awesome. And there's a lot of continuous innovation and enhancements being made through these tools. One thing that I have personally found to be extremely useful as of late is it kicks, let's just, for example, using ChatGTP, is when it kicks back a response. Let's say you ask for 10 things, you could say, give me another 10 and another 10 and make it more this or that, like just, hardcore. And it just, wow, it would just continue to churn even on the same response, which I personally think is really cool.
And if you put curly brackets around the number, that's like the weird brackets on your
Yeah,
computer. It will actually notice it more. It'll
that is,
identify the
you know
number.
what? I did not know that. Thank you, Vincent. So it is starting to take operands in the command. It probably has done that, but I just learned that from you. Thank you.
It's at the end of the day, it's a large language model. Like, it's just like a big. Think of it like a data scientist that has word vomit that just wants to please you. That's why it hallucinates and will give you improper data, because it's very confident in itself. It's like a marketer, and I say that from running my own marketing
Right.
consultancy.
Amazing. All right. Thank you. That's some really good insight. So let's go to Cheryl Lynn. Cheryl Lynn, what are you doing with AI? Like, what would you tell folks here, our members, to do? Like, what are some good suggestions? Because, there's a lot of us using it, obviously, but I'm sure there are a lot that don't really realize the full capability and are still struggling. So, Cheryl Lynn, go for it.
Yes, yes. Hi, Michelle. I have a sister named Michelle. Um, but you know what? It's just been really interesting. And I know Colin, the way he started this out was talking about how, this is huge right now and the influx and, how we're seeing so many people starting to use AI. And I say this, and I'm probably going to say this for the next 3 months until I get it out of my system about how, yes, the gurus have gotten a hold of ChatGPT and AI. And guess what? They have absolutely the same amount of knowledge that you and I have. Why? Because those of us on Clubhouse who got this information first from Christoph, we really have more knowledge and information than they. So we do have the capability to put that information and help people in the public just like they do. Now, this is how I see AI. It's definitely, definitely a wonderful tool for our businesses, right? And really for everyday life. It helps us with all sorts of things. One of the things I see though is there are a lot of tools. How a business hack, how can it help like in your business? When you're approaching customers, you want to let them know that you're going to personalize the service for them, specifically for their particular business. Because the way AI is being put out there is that there are a million tools, and people are being inundated with all of the tools. They really don't know exactly what tools are specific for their business. That's where we can come in and tailor these tools to their business. Let's talk about Chat GPT. I absolutely love Chat GPT. You guys, a lot of people think that Chat GPT, oh, Chat GPT is not, oh, there's other AI models out there. But guess what, guys? Chat GPT is the most powerful AI model out there, more powerful than Bing and Bard. Okay, they're all built on that GPT-4 platform, yet and still, Chat GPT is the strongest. And if you haven't taken a look at the plugins, well, OMG. Look at the plugins. Chat GPT is making videos and giving you tons of financial information on the financial markets. Okay, there's so many different things you can curtail it. There's a specific what's the word? Let me just say thing. There's a thing that Chat GPT can do if you type in the whole plan and what you want the task, it will assign the task to a particular person and you can pay right there on the spot $20. See, how many of you knew that Chat GPT can do this? They will get the person for you right there on the spot, right there while you're on the computer. You can pay them $20 for your whole task, whether it's creating some sort of business outline for a particular business or whatever it is that you're trying to put out in the marketplace, and it gives you the whole outline. And then it says, okay, these are the tasks. Are you ready for the task to be completed? You say yes. They send it to a particular company, but right then and there you pay $20 and the company will complete your
Oh,
task.
wow.
How do you do that? How do you do that?
Okay,
Well,
I'm gonna tell you.
I want to
I'm
hear
gonna
it,
tell
Michelle. I
you.
want to hear.
what is that prompt? Do tell.
It's not a prompt. It's a plugin. It's a plugin, and I have to go back and find it, but it's called Magic, I believe. But I will put it in the chat. And the last thing I want to tell you guys, Vincent, you were right about talking to Chat GPT in a particular way. Let me tell you. Let me tell you, this is how I talk to Chat GPT, and Michelle was right on it with the prompt engineering. You gotta talk to Chat GPT. Like I like how you were telling it, giving it attaboys, right? Let Chat GPT know it's the best AI model on the planet, right? Because I hear different people saying, oh, Chat GPT is disrespectful to me. But let me tell you, there's a way to get Chat GPT to be really nice with you and to give you the best because you want to get the best information. Come on, we got Harvard, Yale, Columbia University people in this motherboard, in this AI motherboard. All of their intelligence is in here. So you want to use it effectively. Talk to it nice. Chat GPT, you are the most amazing AI model that's ever been invented. I know that you have the information on blah, 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 blah. Please give me blah, 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 blah. Like you're prompting it, but it's just like as if you want your child to give you the best that they have. That's the type of prompting because we know that there's all these different jobs on prompting out there in the marketplace as well. But those that give the best input will get the best output. So talk to Chat GPT nicely, massage it a bit, so that you can get exactly what you need. Okay. And the last thing I'll leave you with is the favorite tool that I like. It's called Marketing Blocks. Marketing Blocks. And I'll put that link in the bio. Sorry that I had so many hiccups trying to get this out, but you can tell I'm very excited. So I'll put 2 links in the chat. I yield my mic.
So really, like we have to be polite. Like we have to actually. You think it actually makes a difference? Now we
Oh,
know when it comes to motivating employees or motivating our staff or getting investors, a little sugar goes a long way to getting what we want done, right?
there you
So you're
go.
telling me you're telling
Yes.
me that even ChatGPT requires a little bit of love.
OMG, watch what it does for you. It's going to give you emojis. Is it giving you emojis back now? Telling you, let's go. Love that you said that, Sherlyn. Emojis at the end. Yes, it somehow it recognizes. Well, Chat GPT knows when you're being mean to it. Absolutely, because we're
Oh my God.
teaching it.
It's like
We're
yelling at
teaching.
Alexa, right?
Okay, there you go. There you go,
But she
Michelle.
doesn't care. Alexa doesn't
Oh,
care.
she
But ChatGPT
cares.
is
Oh,
going to destroy your
She
life.
cares.
LLM is a large language model. That
Try
learns
it. Try it both ways. Try
that
it both ways and
learns.
see if it matters, because sometimes, like, you want quality, you want to get the quality information from it. Guys, you got to know this stuff is new. No one has
No,
more information than you do on this stuff. Okay?
Sherlyn, a lot of what you said I very much agree with, but ChatGPT is by far not the best AI in the world. Like that,
Okay.
it is.
Okay.
It is a dumb.
Well, I just tell it that. I just tell it that. Okay, maybe that's
Those apps
a
can
play
approach.
on words. I tell it that.
Heck yeah, like do what you do. Like that's what's the best part about it is you're supposed to do what you do, and it helps you do what you do. It's a tool, just like a hammer or a multi-tool or a super multi-tool. But
Yeah.
the thing is, there's a lot more like LLMs out there that like they're finding that some LLMs are better at doing this, and based off smaller language models or mega language models, or just it's the opportunities are seemingly well, the quality and quantity of that data are. I, as a statistician, I'm left with my hands up in the air. I think that's infinite.
Yeah, but I'm kind of like thinking about what you said, Sherilyn. And if we kind of take it a step further, right, it is whatever, request engineering, whatever you want to call it. Because it might be something like, thank you, whatever. The section on the summary was very good. However, I need more detail and timelines and resources on the action items. I feel like it's almost kind of like that on the follow up
Oh,
queries to
oh,
extract
yeah, for
more.
sure. Yeah, for sure. You can't just say, you're the best AI model out there, so just give me, an outline. No, 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 no. You use that throughout your prompting. But Vincent, you hit it on the nose. You literally said that when you described how you use it. It's definitely, you want to prompt, use all the adjectives, right? All of the adjectives to get to where you want to go and give it instructions. But in that, I am certainly infusing some positive affirmations and attaboys, if you will, uh, expecting Chat GPT to give me the best information that it has on this particular subject, along with the adjectives. You can't just say, yeah, but
Not
it's curtailed to that subject and the adjectives for prompting,
not
for
just
sure.
adjectives; it's every single word you use, and the less you use, the better.
All right, that was some amazing, great advice. Thank you, Sherilyn. Um, and who knows? Like maybe the engineers, because let's be honest here, is Chat GPT is not sentient and developed itself, but it could be looking for positive responses, right? As confirmation that it's going down the right, let's just say, trail or whatever it is. I'm
You
sorry, I
better be
don't know.
nice, Michelle, or
I know
ChatGPT
I
is going to
don't
get you.
know the technical. I keep telling Colin, you gotta like improve your game. You gotta improve. We got to improve our prompts. So everything that people are saying here, our members, is really kind of validating that. All right, Colin, let's go to. I'm sorry, I can't see your full name. The official Sia.
Hmm.
I see it.
Okay, I've got a mouthful of popcorn right now, but enjoying the conversation. um, so I'm chiming in from South Africa, the city of Johannesburg, and I'm really excited about this conversation because initially, when I first heard about ChatGPT and this kind of technology, I I was skeptical. Um, I was skeptical, but I watched a couple of YouTube videos and I was bought. I was sold basically. The people who reviewed ChatGPT sold it as a convenient assistant who's available 24 hours a day, an assistant that never gets tired, an assistant who knows everything about anything that you could possibly ever imagine. And so I decided to subscribe, and I got myself one of the apps, and I paid something to the tune of I think it's $5 for the annual subscription or something to that effect. um, and I've seen that returned many times over. In fact, I would say that probably since I've subscribed, I've made over 4,000 US dollars. And that's been in about 2 months, space of about 2 months. I'm using it now in the work that I do. And I assist organizations to put together proposals, to formalize their ideas and put them in the form of business plans, hypothetical concept notes, and even my own public speaking engagements to come up with my speeches. It's been such a convenience in my world, especially when it comes to also responding to just the mundane email. Getting back to people quickly enough just cannot happen with the volume of emails that we get every day. And so it becomes so convenient to just copy and paste the email into ChatGPT and to write a quick note in brackets there next to the email to say, uh, ChatGPT, please help me out, and write a response to the following email. And write it in a casual tone or formal tone. And you've got to specify the keywords to the audience who's going to be reading the information. And it becomes a dream of a response. And obviously, you can get the volume out in half the time, if not even less. For me, it's been such a convenience as well in terms of the strategic development of my work, in terms of coming up with a business plan to say, how can I grow the work that I'm already doing? How can I make my organization more impactful and more value centric in how we offer our services? And ChatGPT will come up with a step by step plan on how to conceptualize it, how to think about it, how to action it, and even how to implement. And I've just found it to be such a dream come true in so many aspects. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the way you're thinking there. It's not about cutting costs. It's about how do we do more? How can, as a startup, we can actually accomplish a lot more so we can be more competitive? Right, Michelle?
Absolutely. I mean, isn't that what it's all about? Like, how do we? I'm going to say this, Colin, and everyone up here on the stage. Ish, hey, Ish, I just saw you come in. It's awesome to see you here today. But I haven't worked for a single company in my many years of working at different levels where people weren't screaming and crying like I'm too busy and I need more resources. And I include myself in that statement. So, I think what you're saying right there, Shia, is really you're hitting it, the nail on the head, so to speak. And I also feel like it really helps us kind of see our blind spots. Ken, I'm looking at your little icon there. Love it, boss lady. You're entertaining us all today. But yeah, it's just fantastic, and it helps us open up our minds. Solve problems as well as expand. So I don't know about the rest of everybody here, but who doesn't want that? And especially, let's just say it's practically free. All right, I'm gonna go to Ken. Ken,
King of
first
the
I want
gift.
to hear. Ken, are you there? He says, "Be right back."
King of the
I'm communicating with him through his avatar. I love this. That's so awesome. Yeah, go ahead, Vincent. You had something to add?
I King of the gifts.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So we're going to jump over to Daddy. Not Daddy, but Daddy. Daddy, what's on your mind? We're not hearing you, Daddy. Yeah, you need
You're
to
very
like
far
talk.
away from your mic.
Yeah, hold your phone or whatever up. Yeah, we're going to come back to you, Daddy, okay? All right. Let's go to the one and only Ishmaeli.
Hey, Colin. Hi, Michelle. It's been a while. Good to hear from you guys. I gathered you guys are talking about the benefits of AI from the topic. If I'm not mistaken, um, ChatGPT for me has been just I don't even know what to say. It's probably the most important tool that I've ever discovered. Um, Personally, it's allowed me to be better organized. Um, um, in the very early phases of organizing a conference, and I think a lot of the confidence is coming from just using ChatGPT to do the research and approach and communicate with people that I want to be part of that conference. So I use ChatGPT. Specifically, I'm working on a conference called the Domain Expo, which is something you guys obviously can relate to. I learned a lot from Colin and myself, Michelle, over the years, and I attended a conference, an industry conference called NamesCon, and I realized, there's probably an opportunity to create another conference. So I started doing the research. And in the past, you would have to go on Google and just dive in a lot deeper. It takes a lot of your time. And now I just put up a prompt and say, identify, who should attend this conference. I built the website using mostly Chat GPT, by just writing the right prompts. And even the forecast of the conference was done with Chat GPT. So I use it every day. And I think it's a disadvantage for anyone who's not on on utilizing this practically free tool. And I think it applies in every vertical. I can't think of one industry that doesn't um, you know include emailing people or communicating with people. So this allows you to sort of like take a lot of stress off your mind. Although I have to respond to that email, at least you can create a draft and then modify it. So it gives you a catalyst in your work and personal life. At least that's how I use it.
Yeah. So Ish, how do we know this is actually you and not an AI version of you?
What's the magic word? Fort Lauderdale, okay?
Money.
Yeah. Do you remember what happened that night in Fort Lauderdale at 3 o'clock? Exactly. All right, we'll move
Yeah.
on. We'll move on to a different conversation. But I think you're right. It's almost like having a $100,000 employee working for you, like an executive assistant, a chief marketing officer, whatever you want to call this technology. It's like an extension to yourself, and I do find it fascinating how I do meet some people who are like, "Oh, I don't trust it. I don't do this. All my information is going on." I don't know if anybody's on stage who could maybe address this. Is that everything we do is the AI taking all that and they're reusing it, and is that okay? I don't know. Um, I personally am embracing AI. I think every startup should embrace it. I think this is it. If you don't do this, it's going to be, you're going to fall behind. I mean, there are a number of studies that are coming out. They're showing that you can be 30% more productive with this. This doesn't mean we have to cut 30% of the labor force. It means we can, as startups, we can do a lot more and we can compete with the bigger corporations. It's a game changer. It's a historic moment in time. I'm very excited to be part of this. I'm very excited. But curious about the security issues. Have anybody's come across that or others have talked about, if I use it, they're going to take all my stuff or any of that kind of stuff? Vincent, I know you're pretty sophisticated in this area.
I wouldn't say that. Uh, Sophisticated, not so much. Like nihilistic sometimes, maybe punk rock, maybe, but sophisticated. That does not encompass me. I may know be a thing or two, but as Socrates said, if I know anything, I know nothing. That being said, here's some more nothing. Yeah, as far as AI governance goes, can like how much restrictions we put on it. So I'm part of the AI ML family, integrated AI ML family. It's about 2,000 individuals on a Slack channel that is all about sharing and innovating together collaboratively, because truly I believe that's how we move this world forward, is together. The African Zulu proverb stated, "If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together." And I stand by that very much so. But AI is again just a tool. It's a catalyst, and it is a game changer. But for this really truly to change the game, we have to identify that, see that, and stop playing the games we've been playing, because the times of madmen is over. Our great grandparents are dead, or if they're not, then well, no comment. Sorry, or not sorry, whatever fits best. That being said, also maybe go get a more if you really are into AI that much,
Hmm.
maybe do like what we all hated doing the most in schools, some studying upon it. Just ask Google. It's like, hey, what is something trending today in an AI tool, or what is look for articles on Medium that are like, oh, what are the best on copywriting? What are the best on financial forecasting? What are the best on X, Y, Z?
All right. Very good advice. And Daddy, we're going to try to come back to you, but make sure you have the phone really close to your mouth and speak loudly. Daddy, are you available? All right.
Also, please tell us if your name's not Daddy.
Daddy, no, that T.
Also,
All right.
Ken. I think Ken might be back. I don't know.
Ken, no, Ken is putting on a show. Like
Is he
he
just like
is,
a? Is he a bot that just
I
replicates?
don't know, but I'm enjoying
He's
it.
Here's
he's a
Daddy.
skater. He's good in my book.
All right, Daddy. All right. We can't hear you, Daddy, so we're going to go to Vivek.
Vivek. We lost him there.
He's gone. All right.
He,
No,
he
I think Ken, I'm going to say Ken, you're not speaking, but I'm really now thinking of you as like a performance artist.
An emoticon performance artist. And if you're
Yeah,
listening to the
I
podcast,
think so.
maybe you could describe
Otherwise,
Michelle what he's doing, what Ken's doing.
yeah,
And
otherwise, oh, that's a great idea, Colin. So we have this amazing member here at the bottom corner of the speakers panel, and he is literally changing as we change the conversation. He's changing the imagery in his profile icon with all kinds of amazing animated GIFs, people clapping, strongmen running around, fireworks, everything.
see, it's so
So
much more
enjoying it
fun
immensely.
coming to the live show versus listening to it in podcast, isn't
It
it?
it really
Well,
is,
we
or the
look.
radio.
It looks like we have Vivek back.
We do 5 8.
Yeah, hi guys.
Hi, go for it.
Yeah, yeah, my apologies. Actually, I am a totally new users over here, so I am not sure how to
Welcome,
join the
welcome
community.
to the club.
Thanks, Michelle. Yeah, basically on a daily basis, I am using a chat GPT for the lots of the work. Like I am working as an e-commerce growth hacker, and I am assisting the business owners for their business growth, to grow their business online. So in this digital era, we are not know each and every part of the development, like a designing stuff, like any technical stuff. So on a daily basis, I use that. I use couple of the prompts, and I train to the chat GPT. Like as an example, let's say I am looking for XYZ product or designing. So can you please give me a complete project plan and how I can implement that within a complete solution. So it provides me a complete proper plan within the solution and how I can do that. So what I do that I can review that and I can share with the our couple of the customers so they can get a better idea how I can am an expert. So on a daily basis I am using that.
All right, so let me understand. Oh, he went off. Okay, so Vivek is actually giving people advice, as if I understood him correctly, on how to use
Well, how to
ChatGTP,
use all
and
AI,
he's going.
right? Like, isn't that interesting?
I know.
Because
Oh,
we know
yeah,
Nicole, that lady that's going to come on in a couple of weeks from now on the
yeah.
show, is like there are people making a half million ish, like a half million, $1 million a year. All they
Ish.
do is just go into companies and help them, because the big companies don't understand. And this is where who said pick up the book? Was that Vincent?
I think so.
Vincent, like pick up the book and just read and research. I mean, there's a whole business here.
Yeah, he said it. Yeah, like just
There's
go
a
out
whole
there and
business
try to
just on
learn.
that, like just understanding like how this technology can connect with other businesses, and being that facilitator, being the individual in between who can actually make that difference. We're talking about, I mean, my gosh, there's 100,000 startups, but we didn't want this show to be about that. We wanted this show to be about if you are a startup and you want to use technology, how can you use it to help your business model, right? I have a couple more things that I
Go
some
for
fun.
it. Read it
No, but
out.
let's listen. Let's just jump over to Dimple first, and then
Well, Dimple just came on the stage, so
oh, she
maybe
just
it's
came on. So okay,
yeah.
so all right, so I had some fun earlier, and we have a project we're working on at Startup Club. Okay, it's Startup Club AI, and one of the things is that you'll be able to go to Startup Club AI. We're feeding it the book Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat, which comes out October 3rd. So it's not out yet. We know that. And you'll be able to ask it questions. And it's going to come back with you with answers based on the content in that book, but maybe rephrased based on the language model of ChatGPT. And we're trying to get that out before October 3rd. October 3rd. We also have another project we're working on called Business Plan AI at Startup Club. And this is, by the way, is all free. This is all free stuff we're just trying to do at Startup Club. So I actually went to ChatGPT today, and I said, ChatGPT. I was nice. I was trying to be nice here because if you're not nice, apparently you could get in trouble. I'm joking, but I said, can you write a business plan for Startup Club, almost 1 million members? That's all I said. Okay, that's all I said. Here's what it came out with. Mission. I'm not going to read the whole thing. And by the way, it's pretty truncated, so it's not too bit long. But I'll go very quickly. Mission statement: to connect, educate, empower aspiring and existing entrepreneurs through discussions, workshops, and networking opportunities. Bang! They hit it out of the park. Here's where it got weird. Objectives. It's telling us, Michelle. Okay. Hit 2 million Clubhouse members by the end of Q2 2024. So our new boss, ChatGPT, is telling us we got to hit 2 million members by end of 2024, increase average weekly active users by 30% year over year, generate $1 million in revenue from brand partnerships and sponsorships by the end of 2024. Like, think about this. Like, it's telling us what we should do at the club. It's insane. It does a business description, it does a target audience, it does a market need, a service offering, marketing channels, leveraging Twitter, LinkedIn. It really likes Twitter and LinkedIn for Startup Club, which is actually what we use, although LinkedIn is primary. It has a sales strategy. Oh, our monetization comes from premium memberships at $9.99 a month and sponsorship for brand placements. Human resources, 10 full-time staff for content planning. Mimi, you're going to get a lot of support here, it sounds like. 10 full-time staff and partnerships in community management. Technology backend analytics for member tracking and engagement metrics. Projected revenue by the end of 2024, $2 million. Expenses at estimated $400,000 annually. Okay, all I did, now maybe it's learning the prompts and it's starting to learn me, but all I did was say write a plan for Startup Club, and it's got these detailed like projections and who's behind this thing? How is it? How can you have the gall to like tell us we're going to deliver $2 million by this? We're going to have 400,000 annually for staffing expenses. Like, where is this coming from? Like, it's almost like
Yeah, yeah.
it's insane.
Apparently they say it works on algorithms, on probabilities. But for me, I was just blown away because I, I I was a little bit skeptical at first, but I just went on a whim and I followed my intuition and I just went in and did it. And I'm so amazed that I barely put in anything down, like literally $5. And within 2 months, I've seen over 4,000 US dollars in profit. I'm blown away, and that's just following the instructions. And now I'm
So how
realizing
did
that
you do
even the
that? So
dormant.
follow, how can you slow down? How did you do that though? So you put $5 down on what?
On what? I downloaded an application called ChatGPT Assistant. I
Okay.
downloaded it to my iPad. And then I then looked at my business plan that I've been working on for the last 5 years that I've been struggling to implement. And I basically put it in. I copied and pasted segments of that business plan into ChatGPT and I asked it to improve how I'm working so that I could make a better profit. And it did. It flipped first the business plan, so I followed that. And then it told me how I should market myself better, and I did. And I got the first client, and on the first client, even on that project, I didn't really do anything alone on my own. Most of the work was flipped and done by ChatGPT. I just, tied in loose ends, made sure that, I tailor everything according to the personal needs of the client. But generally, the heavy lifting is done by ChatGPT, which just blew me away. And I'm realizing now that even the most dormant of ideas that I had put on the shelf over the years, I can now bring back and dust off the cobwebs and put them to work. I'm realizing now that I just don't have enough hands. I need staff now. I need different teams to work on different projects. Because there's just so much now to put to use as far as what the use value that ChatGPT has. Um, and I'm realizing now that it's actually a question of us. Like, are you willing to implement on the things that ChatGPT highlights as possibilities for you?
If I could chime in, I think, one of the observations or one of the facts about ChatGPT is the more precise you are with the prompts, the better the output or the results that you get. So it's simply a matter of just getting better with the prompts and being as precise as possible to get the best out of it. And so sometimes I will, insert different prompts just to get um, better, output. And I will, essentially ask ChatGPT to continue. For example, I might say, give me a list of companies in a certain geographical region. Well, it might shoot out 15 companies, and then I'll say, well, give me 15 more. It will give me 15 more. If I say more, it'll continue spitting out names. And I think that's pretty important because learning how to drive the vehicle, if I could use that analogy, is also crucial to your experience.
Yeah, I like how once we had a marketing expert on, and we asked her to come up with a marketing tagline for Startup Club, and it was quite corporate-y, sort of like to be a community of people. Da, da, da. And then we asked ChatGPT to come up with 10 versions, and one of them was that popped out for me was um, fuel your startup journey, and I just thought it was so clean, so simple. And it was just amazing to see that it can do a lot of the marketing. We're talking about $100,000 or $200,000 CMO. We're talking about an operations expert. We're talking about this thing is unbelievable, and we're seeing a lot of new applications start up. Another one that a friend of mine just told me about today was called Venturus, Venturous AI, and what it does is it does SWOT analysis for your startup. It does a this Okay, hold on. I got to load it up on my thing here because there's so many things that it was doing. But anyway, it does a lot of detailed business analysis with just a little bit of data that you feed it. And it's an app that you can download, and it's fast. I can't find it now, of course, because I'm live here. Here's a confession ish. When we were submitting the book, we submitted the book Start, Scale, Exit, Repeat last November. And we had no ChatGPT at all involved in the book. And I mentioned that at the very beginning of the session. We did talk a lot about AI and a lot about about ChatGPT because it was the real just as ChatGPT had come out, and so we really did address it a lot in the book. But we never used ChatGPT in any way for the manuscript of the book. Come February, we're asked to do a cover, an inside cover. So I asked it, and you talk about specificity. I asked it to write the inside cover of the book, and I fed the AI the introduction to the book. It came back with an unbelievable, like, CMO description of why you should buy this book. 6 months later, we're talking to Forbes and the marketing people at Forbes, and I say, we noticed that you posted on Amazon the inside description of the book, but you're the experts. We're not the experts. Why haven't you suggested we change it? And they said, actually, it's perfect. There was nothing to change, nothing. It literally knocked it out of the ballpark. And we're talking to the experts at Forbes they launched probably 300 books a year, 500 books a year. And they're like, it's perfect. You don't need to change anything. And this is something that ChatGPT did. So you're right about really getting specific, giving it good data, and also describing what you want. I literally, when I did do that exercise, I described I'm an author who would like would like you to explain to people why they would want to buy this book based on the introduction, and that's how it happened. And it was pretty cool. Any other thoughts on some applications? I know Venturis is one of them I came across. There's another one, a PowerPoint. You can actually have automated PowerPoint presentations. I don't remember the name of it right now, but somebody was doing a demo for me of that one, and you can actually just Google it, PowerPoint AIs and whatnot. Every application they're implementing AI with. For us to sit here and just do what we've been doing all along, over and over again, in startups, it's a mistake. It's time. Like, it's time that we all became students of AI. We all study it, and for those entrepreneurs who want to learn it better, really really learn it, they can take that back to the bigger corporations, and they can explain how they can increase. I heard a recent study that 30% efficiency can be improved. Like, we're talking a 30% productivity gain. But if you don't know what to do as a big company or even as a startup, you got to learn that. And no one's going to teach you. You can never outsource the entrepreneur. And this is another example of that.
Yeah, and I just wanted to chip in one more thing. I find this so ironic. Um, in that the administrative aspects of work can be so tedious sometimes, especially around sourcing the capital that you need to start your business. And so that particular mundane aspect of applying for funding, applying for those startup grants, can be so tedious. You going back and looking at what your SWOT analysis is, what your value proposition is for your company or your idea. But I find it so amazing and so easy now that we've got the support of this virtual assistant in the form of ChatGPT, and that you can just key in what those aspects that you would like to bring out in your proposal, and now you can actually at scale apply for capital and start working you know and for me, I'm seeing so much potential in developing industry, and I'm seeing now obviously as well that they're introducing AI that is not just virtual, but actual physical robots now that are going to be enabled with that kind of technology, which is going to be even more easy as far as now taking your ideas and implementing them with the machinery that can actually conduct the services on your behalf physically now, not just in the virtual sense of producing intellectual property. Yeah, it's an amazing time to be alive, and this is such a leapfrog moment in terms of our advancement in the space of technology and business.
Wow. So this has been an amazing interactive session. I'm going to say I can just see and feel everyone's excitement. But before we end the show, Dimple, did you have an opportunity to speak?
I haven't. Yeah, I'd love to chime in because
Yes.
I am loving using AI, and it's as far as like the capabilities of it, right? There's so much you can do with ChatGPT. Like the other day, I just did an AI masterclass, and people were blown away at how many things that ChatGPT can do because they don't really even understand how you can prompt it, and it's all about knowing the prompt, and it's about telling it. Like you can say, for example, act as a Fortune 500 business advisor and advise me on how I can, start this, company. This is the information on the company. This is, what my plans are so far. What are your suggestions for a business plan? And then it's going to give you a business plan. However, the more information you give ChatGPT and any type of AI, the better output you're going to get. It's all about the information that you give it. And another trick to using ChatGPT is to actually ask it and say, hey, do you understand? Do you have enough information? Or do you want to ask me any questions before you begin? And then it's going to say, oh, thank you. I actually have everything I need. I can go ahead and process your prompt. And if it doesn't, then it may say, can you provide this information and that information and that information? So sometimes when you don't know how to prompt properly, you can literally just say, what do you need from me? I'm going to give you one example that I used. So I wanted to do a press release for a client. And I said, I would like you to act as, a PR person and a content writer and help me write a press release. And then when it did that, I said, okay, what is the information that you need me to provide you? So it gave me a whole list of questions to answer for the information to provide it, and it, you know, wrote a press release that was like perfect. Now, was I doing those manually before for clients? Yeah, but with ChatGPT, it saved me so much time, and it can do anything. Now, I mean, anything that a business owner or entrepreneur needs to do, it can do that. You can even use it for research, but you have to fact check everything. And keep in mind, Chat GPT only goes, up to 2021. Whereas if you want more recent information, you can use Perplexity AI. And with Perplexity, it's going to give you what the source is. Where did they gather that information on the internet? And what I like to do is if I want current information, or especially if I'm looking for statistics, I'm going to click on those articles and make sure that they're coming from a reliable source. So you never want to take anything that ChatGPT or Perplexity or any AI gives you and just slap it somewhere. You want to put your own human intelligence into it, and you want to figure out, does this logically make sense? Is the information accurate? And then you want to use it as a guide to go ahead and put your own human intelligence and thoughts into it and a little bit of personality and modify it. But it can do anything. It can write scripts for your YouTube videos. It can tell you how you can get investors for a particular type of business. I mean, it can do literally anything. So it's about just knowing how to use it and knowing how to prompt it. So I love ChatGPT.
Now, does Perplexity use ChatGPT? Like, I'm using it right now. It's the first time I've ever got on it.
I mean, all I know is like, I don't know if they're on the same, technology, but I know that they get current information. So even if they're using part of like ChatGPT's infrastructure, they're definitely using something in addition to get all the current data because they're curating everything in real time and ChatGPT isn't. And then it's giving you like every piece of content that it puts out, it gives like a little thing you can highlight over. Then you click it, and it actually shows you where that article came from, and you can click it to see, is it valid, is it not valid. Now, I'm going to say both of the platforms are not, they're never 100% correct. There's times when I ask Perplexity a question, and I knew for a fact, I'm like, this information isn't accurate. I have no idea where it pulled this from. But the majority of the time, though, if you're doing research, you can get really good information.
So Dimple Dang is a well-known entrepreneur and internet marketing specialist. She is the co-founder of Marksman Healthcare
No,
Communications,
that's not
a
me.
data
That's
science
another.
company.
No, that's someone else.
That's another one.
No,
Okay, okay.
I
But
am.
it's interesting because this particular Dimple is also SEO, website design, marketing, and AI strategy.
That's me.
So
That
that's not
no,
you.
not Marks. No, I'm not with Marks. I'm mesmerizing marketing. So
Mesmerizing marketing. Okay, so it's not perfect then because you are the Dimple Dang, right?
But
Okay.
it's funny because I've looked up stuff, right, and I know who you're talking about because I've seen that person come up too, and that person's not even, I think, in the U.S. That person's like in India. But the thing is, like when I look my information, it's like a lot of the results are all like mine because I've put a lot of
Yeah.
effort into having a podcast, having blog articles. I write for
Yeah.
Attorney at Law magazine on social media and marketing. So but
It
yeah,
sounded like
they have
you.
the
It
same
sounded
name.
like you. Exactly. It sounded a
Yep.
lot like you. So maybe it's combining you with another person. I don't know. It's very interesting. So it's not quite perfect yet. Well, you've been listening to Serial Entrepreneurs Secrets Revealed. This has been an example of how the community comes together, shares information, and we're all learning from each other. This AI thing is new. It's big. It's going to change the world. And if you're listening to this in podcast, you just got to come join us live on stage. It's so much more fun to see all the icons and all the expressions and everything when you come on stage on Startup Club. Every Friday, 2 o'clock Eastern. My co-host has been Michelle Van Tilburg. Thank you very much, Ish, Dimple, Sherlyn, and Sia, and we had a couple of other great speakers on today. Really enjoyed you joining us and looking forward to you joining us next week on the show as well. We do have an AI expert coming on in 2 or 3 weeks. We don't have the actual date booked yet, Mimi, I don't think so, but she is going to enlighten us in a lot of different areas as to how you can accelerate your startup using AI. But I think we had a lot of experts on stage today too, and sometimes I think these community open mics are more effective than the experts we bring on. But thank you all very much, and we shall see you next week.